If you're looking to get yourself a new EDC knife and you've got around $200 or less to spend, then you clicked on the right video, because today I've got 10 different EDC knives and we're going to be taking a look at each one and discussing their specs and features to give you an idea of some great options that might complement your everyday carry. We're going to start off with the Banshee from Dam Designs, and if you like titanium and want an overbuilt tactical knife, this is definitely one that you're going to like. The Banshee has stonewashed titanium handle scales and a reversible deep carry pocket clip for secure tip-up carry. There's two different ways to open the knife, either with the thumb hole openers or the front flipper, and the deployment is very smooth and bearing driven, and the blade is secured in place with a liner lock. Now the Banshee is no joke, and it's definitely got some serious weight to it, and there's some really aggressive jimping on the spine, and the handles are relatively wide, and I've got medium-sized hands and can get a really secure grip on it, and this is really important for a tactical knife. It has a modified Tonto shaped blade, which gives it a very strong and distinct look, and it's ideal for tactical purposes, and it's made from stone-washed S35VN, which is one of the most well-rounded knife steels on the market. You can pick up this blade for right around $160, which is an excellent price considering the build quality and premium materials. This is the Benchmade 273 Mini ADAMAS, and this is a great option for those of you who like Benchmade and want something beautifully designed for more heavy-duty EDC use. The Mini ADAMAS has OD green G10 scales that are relatively smooth with texture for added grip and a reversible deep carry pocket clip. The blade can be deployed using the thumb studs, and it's secured in place with an axis lock. There's some jimping on the spine and also for the index and pinky fingers, and given that it's the mini version, it's going to be most comfortable for medium and smaller hands, and it's definitely much weightier compared to the other Benchmade knives that we're going to be looking at shortly, coming in at around 4.59 ounces. Now let's talk about the blade. The ADAMAS has a drop point blade made from CPM Crewware, and it's got a beautiful flat earth finish, which does go really well with the OD green scales. This is my first experience with this steel, but it does seem really nice, and it makes for a really tough hard blade with excellent water resistance. You can pick up this knife for about $175 depending on where you buy it from. Alright, so this next knife is probably one that many of you are already familiar with, and that's the Bugout from Benchmade, and this knife has been out for about 5 years, and it's a fantastic option if you want something that's extremely lightweight and durable, and there's a fantastic selection of different blade materials and scales. The version I have here is a Blade HQ exclusive, and it's got textured gray G10 scales over steel liners, and there's a mini reversible pocket clip and an oversized lanyard hole. You can use the dual green finished titanium thumb studs to deploy the blade, and it also has bronze pivot washers, and the blade is secured with a strong and ambidextrous axis lock mechanism. There's some fine jimping on the handle, and it feels really lightweight and quick in the hands, and the scales are nice and grippy, and this is an ideal size knife for medium hands. The Bugout has a drop point blade made from CPM 20CV stainless steel, which is extremely tough and corrosion resistant, with a black Cerakote finish and a flat grind. I picked up the Bugout for about $140, but they typically range from $135 up to $279. Next up, we've got another knife from Benchmade, and this is the SOCP CF Elite, and this is a fantastic option for those of you looking for an ultralight tactical knife with a long blade, and this knife was actually a gift from my brother-in-law, so if you're watching this, thanks a lot for sending this to me, and when it's your birthday, I got you back. The SOCP has a black CF Elite handle with jimping for added control, and it's got a 4-position reversible pocket clip with a glass breaker tip. You can deploy the blade with the thumb disc opener, which is really nice and wide and easy to deploy, and would be easy to use if you're wearing gloves, and it's also got an axis locking mechanism. This is a really long knife with an overall length of 10.13 inches, and it's very intimidating and definitely going to be a good knife for hard duty use, and there's a ton of jimping on the handle and spine, so you can really get a nice firm grip on it. The SOCP has a spear point blade, which are great for self-defense, and it's also partially serrated, so it's well balanced for a variety of tasks, and it's made from D2, which is a budget-friendly mid-range steel. You can typically find this knife for about $180. Next up, we have the BL03 from Bestech, and this is a great knife if you want a shorter knife, and this one was designed by Frank Grissom and has beautiful black canvas micarta handle scales and a really heavy-duty tip-up titanium pocket clip and a large loop on the end. There's two different options for blade deployment, including a thumb hole and a flipper tab, and the blade is secured with a liner lock. Even though it's a relatively short knife, it's surprisingly comfortable to hold, and there's some really thick jimping, which feels great on your thumb. The micarta is really soft, and the knife is a lot thicker than most of the other knives here, especially when you factor in that robust pocket clip, and there's a few different ways to comfortably grip this knife, and it's an ideal size knife for medium-sized hands. The BL03 has a sheep split style blade, which are non-threatening and work-oriented, and made from 154CM, which is a nice hard-working mid-grade steel, and it's got a nice satin finish to it. You can pick up this knife from White Mountain Knives for $150 $59, and there's also a coupon code down in the description which will save you 10%. This is the MPR-3T from Nemesis knives, and this is a great option if you want an ultralight Tonto shaped blade made from S35VN for a reasonable price. This knife is from their MAR Private Reserve line, and it has a vintage design built from modern materials. The frame is very slim, and the scales are made from a nice textured G10, and the pocket clip can be configured in 4 different positions. The blade can be deployed using the thumb studs, and it has a lockback mechanism which feels incredibly secure. There's some jimping on the spine for your thumb, and also way back on the handle for your pinky finger, and the handle is relatively long, so it's going to be comfortable for pretty much any size hands. This knife has a Tonto shaped blade with a hollow grind, and this is a great knife for piercing and other hard duty tactical use cases, and it's made from CPM S35VN, which has great corrosion resistance and cutting performance with a satin finish. The blade is definitely one of the longest in the lineup, coming in at about 3.625 inches, and it's very impressive. You can pick up this knife for about $125 depending on where you buy it. Next up, we've got the HARPYIE from QSP, and typically QSP is really well known for being a budget-friendly brand, but this is one of their higher end offerings, and it's a great option if you want a budget-friendly, well-rounded EDC knife made from S35VN. The HARPYIE has pretty unique handle scales, and the lower section is made from a black G10, and it also has a carbon fiber bolster, and it's got a deep carry, tip-up pocket clip, and a lanyard loop. There's 2 ways to deploy the blade, including the thumb groove and a one-handed flipper tab, and the opening is very quick and snappy, and the blade is held in place with the liner lock. There's some jimping on the spine, and overall it's a pretty long knife coming in at about 8.5 inches, and there's plenty of room for me to grip the handle comfortably, and plenty of room if you've got larger hands. The HARPYIE has a satin finish drop point blade, which is a great all-around shape, and it's made from CPM S35VN with a flat grind. This knife typically retails for about $120, and it's great if you want to get into S35VN steel at an entry-level price point. Alright, so this next knife is really unique, and what we have here is the Reactor from Rhino, and Rhino is a company that specializes in incorporating tritium, which is a self-powered light source that doesn't require batteries or outside charge to glow, and they've incorporated this into everyday carry items like pry bars, key fobs, and knives. The handle on the Reactor is made from black titanium, and there's some XL tritium inserts on each side which glow green and make it really easy to find this knife in the dark. There's also a tip-up deep carry pocket clip and a lanyard hole on the end. There's a flipper tab for blade deployment, and the action is very quick, and there's also a frame lock. The knife is relatively small, which makes it really nice for pocket carry, and there's a groove for your index finger, and it's just big enough to be comfortable for medium-sized hands, but it would also work well if you have smaller hands. The blade has a drop point shape, and it's made from S35VN and has a black finish and a flat grind. You can pick up this knife for $199.99, and it's a great choice if you want a compact all black knife and you like tritium. And I've also reviewed a handful of other products from Rhino in the past, and I'll link to those videos down below in case you want to check those out. This next knife is the MCUSTA TSUCHI Damascus, and this knife is a real work of art made in Seki, Japan, and would be a great choice of those of you who want a beautifully crafted heirloom type piece that's hand finished by an experienced craftsman. This MCUSTA knife features a hammered pattern stainless steel handle, and that pattern carries onto the blade, and it also has a tip down carry pocket clip. You can deploy the blade with the dual thumb studs, and the pivot pin washer system makes the blade action silky smooth, and the knife has a frame locking mechanism. This is a mid-sized knife, and the spine is smooth, and the hammer texture on the handle gives the user great grip, and there's also a nice little groove for your index finger, and it's a good sized knife for most hand sizes. It has a drop point blade and is Damascus steel with a VG10 core, and the hammered pattern that carries onto the blade gives it a very seamless look. This knife typically retails for about $140 and would be a great option for those of you who like Damascus. This is the Fastpak from Rainier knives, and this knife is a bit different than the others because it's a fixed blade instead of a folder, but it's really lightweight and quick to deploy, which does make it a really interesting option for everyday carry. This version of Fastpak has black linen scales, but you can also purchase a naked version if you want to save a bit of weight, and it also comes with a really nice sheath which actually fits the blade really well, and there's also a loop which you can use to attach the knife to your belt. The Fastpak is very secure in the sheath, and the first thing you notice when you pull the knife out is how incredibly lightweight it is, and mine weighs in at about 1.83 ounces. The spine is smooth, but the textured scales do give you a really nice grip, and there's a deep groove for your index finger, and this is an ideal size knife for medium-sized hands. The Fastpak has a drop point blade, and this version has a flat grind, and it's made from 61RC LMAX, which is one of the best all-around knife steels on the market. When you put this knife back in the sheath, it makes a really nice audible click so you know that it's in there securely. You can pick this up the way it's currently configured for about $149 from Rainier Knives website. If you want to learn more about or pick up any of the knives in this video, please use the links down below because it really helps out the channel. Let me know which one of these knives is your favorite down below in the comment section, and if you enjoyed it, please smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more everyday carry content like this.